All right, this is Morgan. What we want to do with Morgan is create like a little bit of a slimmer shape. She's got a lot of hair. So we're going to work on a technique that kind of creates some invisible layering through the interior. So just gone through and pre-sectioned it off. Kind of 2 on top, 2 through that middle area, and then 1 through the back there. What we're going to do is we're going to start by sectioning that bottom panel out, just dividing it straight down the center, and then just taking all of that down at once and creating a line. So I'm using my fingers versus cutting it on the skin because I want it to have a slight bit of a bevel to it. So same thing on the opposite side, just bringing everything straight down and creating a nice strong cutting line. Then going through using the back of the comb just to clean up the line a little bit. Same thing on the opposite side, just barely pressing with the back of the comb, just enough to kind of clean up those little hairs that fall out when you hold it in your fingers. So here's where the interior layer comes through. So I'm going to take a horizontal section at the top of the panel, and I'm going to elevate that hair straight up and cut a line that is square to the head, using the outside edge as my guide. On the opposite side, do the same thing, using the internal length as my guide now. So that's just going to create the smallest little bit of disconnection on the interior of that panel. The panel above it, same thing, bringing everything straight down onto the cutting line. Cutting it in the fingers, connecting it to the exterior length. Working all the way around into the front hairline, keeping my cutting line matching my section angle. Just tapping above the ear to release a little bit of the tension so I don't get a hole. Just everything straight down, cut clean. Same thing on the opposite side. Just connecting through to that original exterior line. Cutting it in my fingers so you get a slight bit of a bevel on the line. Above the ear again, just a little tap to release the tension. And then we go back through the same process. So horizontal section through the top of the panel, elevate the hair straight up, and we're going to cut a square cutting line on the interior. Going to follow that around through the head shape into the front part and connect it through to the front hairline. Then we'll repeat the process on the opposite side. So what you get now is you've got 2 lines and 2 layers, and they're all in, the lines are external and the layers are internal. And what that's going to do is just break up her texture a little bit and remove some of the bulk from the inside of the hair. Same thing, that last panel, bringing everything down. Cutting along the original line. Just extending all the way into the front hairline. Same thing on the opposite side, everything down to the original cutting line. Tapping above the ear to release some tension. And connecting through all the way to the front. So with her hair, we wanted it to air dry, so I just put a little product in it and then kind of scrunched it up with my hands and just tucked it behind the ear. That way when it dries a little bit of a bend to the front hairline. And here's kind of the natural texture of the hair. No refinement done on this haircut at all. Just spray it and go. It's a very quick, kind of salon-friendly haircut. Just getting my hands in, kind of releasing some of the texture. letting some of those interior layers kind of work, help push the hair up, push some of the hair down. It really just creates an interesting look for her hair type. It was something very specific for her. And there's your end result. Just a really strong outline with a kind of loose interior, very natural hair, very wash and go. Hope you guys like it.